Morning everyone, I am Dr. Gurleen from DMC Ludhiana, JR General Medicine. Introduction. Metabolic myopathies are a heterogeneous group of disorder characterized by defects of enzymatic pathways involved in myocyte metabolism. MM manifests with exercise intolerance, muscle cramps, myalgias, rhabdomyolysis or myoglobinuria and are sometimes asymptomatic also. Classically, metabolic myopathies encompass glycogen storage disorders, fatty acid defects, and mitochondrial disorders. Glycogen storage disorders present within minutes of high intensity exercise like weightlifting or sprinting, whereas fatty acid oxidation disorders and mitochondrial myopathies present after prolonged low intensity exercise. So here we report a case of young boy with intermittent history of proximal weakness for 4 years before MM was diagnosed. He presented to us in the Department of Neurology. Patient presentation. A 14-year-old boy presented with complaint of bilateral lower limb weakness with pain in thighs for 15 days following exercise. He also noticed that there was partial improvement in his symptoms with continued exercise. Next day when he woke up, he experienced difficulty in standing from sitting position and climbing stairs. There is no history of upper limb and cranial nerve involvement, no sensory or bladder dysfunction. He recalled similar episode of pain in thighs along with bilateral lower limb pain 4 years ago while playing cricket. During that time, there was spontaneous improvement with no residual deficit and he continued to play. There is no family history with normal nutritional history. Clinical examination, journal physical examination was normal with no skeletal abnormality. Chest CVS examination was normal. In CNS examination, higher mental functions and all cranial nerves were normal. Motor system examination showed no atrophy or hypertrophy of muscles. Normal tone, proximal muscle weakness in bilateral lower limb graded 2/5 on MRC scale. Distal muscle power was preserved. Deep tendon reflexes and sensory examination were normal. Investigations. The routine investigations like CBC, RFT, LFT, TSH, calcium, phosphorus, magnesium, they all were normal. Vitamin D3 levels, CPK levels, uric acid levels and cholesterol levels were too normal. Urine examination revealed no myoglobinuria. The NCV-EMG study was done suggestive of myopathic pattern with no spontaneous activity. In view of these two intermittent episodes of muscle weakness, possibility of metabolic myopathy was considered. Hence, forearm exercise test was performed for 1 minute. Pre-exercise and post-exercise lactate and ammonia levels were sent. Pre-exercise lactate and ammonia levels were 1.12 millimole per liter and 23 micromole per liter respectively. Post-exercise, there was no significant rise in lactate and ammonia levels. They were 1.34 millimole per liter and 14 micromole per liter respectively. His blood samples were sent for genetic testing for PYGM gene mutation, which revealed mutation on chromosome 11q13, exon 1, heterozygous nonsense type of variant. So basically in this forearm exercise test, baseline sampling was done for lactate and ammonia levels. The patient was asked to hold bowl for 9 seconds and then release for 1 second and repeat the same cycle for 1 minute. Post-exercise lactate and ammonia levels were set. Normally these levels should rise by 3-fold, but there was no rise by 3-fold suggestive of metabolic myopathy. So management and outcome, patient was managed with sportive treatment and his condition improved gradually. He was told to take high carb diet and he was told about second wind phenomena and he was told to just do moderate graded aerobic exercise. On follow-up after 6 months, his muscle power improved to 5/5 on MRC scale. Discussion. The above clinical history with investigations are suggestive of McArdle disease, glycogen storage type 5, rare inherited metabolic disorder with an autosomal recessive inheritance pattern. This case highlights the importance of history in delineating the diagnosis of metabolic myopathy even with normal CPK levels. The bedside forearm exercise test clearly showed glycogen storage disorder. Later, the diagnosis was confirmed with genetic testing. In McArdle, there is deficiency of muscle glycogen phosphorylase, the enzyme, which is responsible for breaking down glycogen into glucose, which is the energy source for muscles, resulting in accumulation of glycogen in muscle tissues. This forms the basis for forearm exercise test. In our patient, another diagnostic characteristic finding noted was second wind phenomena, which is characterized by improved symptoms after prolonged exercise, typically observed in GST. Though there is no specific treatment, but dietary interventions, including high carbohydrate intake before exercise, moderate intensity graded aerobic exercise therapy can help in managing the symptoms. So the learnings, metabolic myopathies should be considered in the differential diagnosis in young person with episodic weakness. A careful history and a detailed clinical approach will help in narrowing down the differentials among the multiple biochemical pathways involved. Though rare, these disorders can be accurately and efficiently diagnosed if the key clinical features are kept in mind.